Something unprecedented is happening. Millions of men have quietly stopped approaching women entirely. Not because they can't, not because they don't know how, but because they've calculated the risk and decided it's not worth it. We're witnessing the largest withdrawal of male attention in history. And women are just now starting to notice. They're confused, frustrated, even angry. But men are protecting themselves. Let me explain what's really happening and why safety, not preference, is driving men away from modern dating. The numbers are staggering. Surveys show that huge percentages of men under 30 haven't approached a woman in over a year. Some have never done it at all. These aren't just shy guys or introverts. These are normal men who've looked at the modern dating landscape and said, "I'm good." They've seen what happens to men who take that risk, and they're choosing safety over potential connection. The primary fear isn't rejection anymore. It's destruction. Men aren't just worried about hearing no. They're worried about being recorded and mocked online. They're worried about being accused of harassment for saying hello. They're worried about having their reputation destroyed for misreading signals. The cost of being wrong has become catastrophic. I counsel men who tell me stories that would have been unbelievable 10 years ago. A client complimented a coworker's new hairstyle, just said nice haircut, and got called into HR for making her uncomfortable. Another asked a woman for coffee after they'd been chatting for weeks, and she posted about it on social media, calling him a creep with his photo attached. These aren't outliers anymore. This is the new normal. Some women are confused about why men are withdrawing. They post online asking why won't men approach anymore, while simultaneously sharing posts about how men who approach are predators and harassers. They celebrate destroying men who shot their shot, then wonder why other men won't try. The cognitive dissonance is breathtaking. 6.0, 252. The attempts to meet men in traditionally male spaces have become comedy. Some women go to hardware stores thinking they'll find real men. But men at Home Depot aren't there to meet women. They're there to buy lumber. They're in task mode, not dating mode. A guy trying to figure out which drill bit he needs doesn't want to be approached any more than a woman at the gym does. One client told me about a woman who kept showing up at the auto parts store, where he shops, clearly trying to start conversations. She'd ask questions about oil changes she obviously didn't need help with. He avoided her completely. Why? Because he knows that engaging could be seen as harassment if she decides later she didn't like him. The safest option is no interaction at all. The double standards in relationship expectations have become dangerous for men. Some women say they want a man who leads, makes decisions, takes charge. But the moment he actually does, controlling, toxic masculinity, red flag. They want the benefits of male leadership without accepting actual leadership. They want a dominant man who only dominates when, how, and exactly the way they want. The resistance to any boundaries men set is universal. A man says he's not comfortable with his girlfriend posting thirst traps online. Insecure, controlling, but she can tell him which friends to cut off, how to dress, where to go. His boundaries are oppression. Her boundaries are standards. His preferences are toxic. Her preferences are knowing her worth. The hypocrisy in who gets to express preferences is mind-blowing. A woman can have a height requirement, income requirement, car requirement, house requirement. That's just standards. A man prefers someone who doesn't have an OnlyFans misogynist. A man wants someone without extensive sexual history. Insecure. A man has any preference at all. Toxic. Normal compliments have become dangerous. An older gentleman told a young woman she looked nice in her dress. She filmed him, posted it online with creepy old man alert, and it went viral. His face everywhere, labeled a predator for giving a polite compliment. He was being kind the way his generation was taught to be. Now his grandchildren see him called a predator online. Some women use breakups as emotional manipulation, not understanding men have reached their limit. They threaten to leave thinking he'll beg, plead, change everything to keep them. But modern men are saying, "Okay, bye." The shock on their faces when he doesn't fight for the relationship, doesn't chase, doesn't beg, priceless. They played a game where they didn't know the rules had changed. A client's girlfriend gave him an ultimatum. Propose by Christmas, or she's leaving. He said, "I understand. Let's end this now." Then she was devastated. She didn't actually want to leave. She wanted to force his hand. But he called her bluff. She spent months trying to get him back. Couldn't understand why the manipulation didn't work. The drama creation expecting men to chase is exhausting. They'll start fights about nothing, storm out expecting to be followed, block his number, expecting him to find another way to contact them. But men aren't playing anymore. You want to leave? Door's over there. You want to block me? Cool. Saves me the trouble. The dramatic exit only works if someone cares enough to chase. Some women romanticize first dates to an insane degree. One date, one good conversation, and suddenly they're planning the wedding in their heads. The man thinks it was a nice evening. She thinks they're soulmates. When he doesn't text immediately, she spirals. When he wants to take things slow, she assumes he's playing games. The projection of fantasy onto reality is dangerous. The unrealistic rules for communication are impossible to navigate. Text too soon, desperate. Text too late, not interested. Text too much, needy. Text too little, player. And every woman has different rules that she doesn't communicate, but expects men to magically know. It's like playing a game where the rules change every round, and you're not told what they are. I've seen great connections destroyed over trivial details. Everything about the date was perfect. But he ordered for her at the restaurant, which she didn't object to at the time. So now he's controlling. They had amazing chemistry, but he didn't walk her to her door. She said she was fine, so he doesn't care. The margin for error has become zero. The projection of fantasies onto strangers is terrifying for men. She creates an entire narrative about who you are based on nothing. You become a character in her internal movie. And when real, you doesn't match fantasy you. You've somehow betrayed her. You're punished for not living up to an expectation you didn't know existed for a role you didn't audition for. The extreme paranoia and false accusations have made dating genuinely dangerous. A client's ex accused him of cheating because she found a long hair in his car. It was his sister's. She had proof. Text showing his sister was in the car that day. Didn't matter. She'd already told everyone he was a cheater. His reputation was destroyed based on her paranoid fantasy. 20,110.38. The lack of accountability when proven wrong is stunning. When she realizes she was wrong, does she apologize? Does she correct the record? No. She either doubles down or acts like it never happened. The damage to his reputation remains. The stress he endured doesn't matter. Her feelings in that moment were all that mattered. Modern dating feels like walking through a minefield blindfolded. Every interaction could explode. Every word could be misinterpreted. Every action could be the wrong one. And the explosions aren't just rejection. They're public humiliation, career destruction, social exile. The risk-reward calculation doesn't make sense anymore. The false accusation threat hangs over every interaction. She regrets sleeping with you. Assault. You break up with her. Abuse. You don't text her back. Harassment. You do text her back. Also harassment. Men are one bad breakup away from having their lives destroyed, and everyone knows it. The emotional instability some men encounter is frightening. Mood swings that would concern a psychiatrist, and now just being passionate. Reactions that would warrant intervention are now living her truth. Men are expected to manage and tolerate behavior that would be considered abusive if genders were reversed. A client showed me text from his ex. Within 1 hour, she'd gone from, "I love you so much," to "I hate you." "You've ruined my life to please. Don't leave me till I'm calling the police if you contact me again." He hadn't responded to any of it. This isn't passion. It's instability. And he's supposed to navigate this safely somehow. The disrespect for male boundaries is complete. His no is a starting point for negotiation. His discomfort is something to mock. His boundaries are challenges to overcome. But her boundaries, sacred, inviolable, one-way streets everywhere you look. The double standards have become so normalized that pointing them out is seen as misogyny. She can have male friends, but his female friends are threats. She can go to girls' nights at clubs, but boys' night is suspicious. She can follow thirst traps online, but him liking a photo is cheating. The hypocrisy is so blatant, it's almost impressive. The reputation destruction potential has men terrified. One bad date, one rejected advance, one breakup with the wrong person, and suddenly you're trending on TikTok as the worst date ever. Your face, name, maybe even workplace shared with millions. Your crime, being awkward, nervous, or just not her type. The loss of peace men experience in modern relationships is profound. Coming home should be relaxing, not walking into an interrogation. Your phone shouldn't be a source of anxiety. Your social media shouldn't be monitored like you're on parole. Yet, this is now standard relationship dynamics for many men. Men are doing the math and realizing staying single is safer. No false accusations if you don't date. No drama if you don't engage. No reputation destruction if you don't approach. No peace lost if you keep your peace. The safest interaction with modern dating is no interaction. The social media effect has weaponized dating against men. Every interaction is potentially content. Every date could become a story time. Every relationship detail might be shared for clout. Men aren't just dating a woman anymore. They're potentially dating her entire follower account. Young men are watching and learning. They see their brothers, friends, fathers get destroyed. They see the court battles, the false accusations, the reputation destruction. They see the cost of engaging with modern dating, and they're choosing not to play. Can you blame them? The approach anxiety isn't about rejection anymore. It's about survival. Men aren't afraid of hearing no. They're afraid of hearing yes from the wrong person. They're afraid of success with someone who might destroy them later. The fear isn't failure. It's succeeding with someone dangerous. Some women who are genuinely good partners are suffering because of this. They wonder why men won't approach, why they're so cautious, why they seem scared. It's not them personally. It's the environment. Men can't tell the difference between safe and dangerous until it's too late. So, they're choosing to assume everyone is dangerous. The "where have all the good men gone" articles miss the point entirely. The good men are right where they have always been. They're just not approaching anymore. They're working on themselves, building their careers, enjoying their hobbies, living their lives quietly, safely away from the minefield. The attempt to shame men back into approaching isn't working. Man up. Stop being weak. Real men take risks. Real men also do risk assessment. And the risk assessment says, stay away. Shaming doesn't change the calculation. It just confirms that the people doing the shaming don't care about male safety. The solutions being proposed are laughable. Just be more confident. Confidence doesn't protect from false accusations. Just be yourself. Being yourself is exactly what gets you destroyed if yourself isn't perfect. Just keep trying. Try what? Russian roulette with more bullets? Men have discovered parallel happiness. Happiness that exists alongside but separate from the dating world. Hobbies, friendships, career, fitness, travel, creativity, all fulfilling, all safe, all drama-free. Why trade that for potential chaos? The gaming and online communities have become refuse. Men connecting with other men, building friendships, achieving goals, having fun, all without the risk that comes with modern dating. Is it any wonder these spaces are thriving while dating is dying? The financial safety of avoiding relationships is real too. No expensive dates that go nowhere. No gifts for someone who might leave tomorrow. No divorce rape. No alimony. No child support for kids you can't see. Financial security through solitude. Mental health benefits of avoiding modern dating are measurable. Less anxiety, less depression, less stress, better sleep, better focus, better overall well-being. Men are literally healthier staying away from modern dating dynamics. Some women are starting to understand, but it might be too late. They're realizing that the dating culture they celebrated is driving men away, that the power they thought they had was temporary, that the attention they took for granted is finite. But the damage is done. The trust is broken. Even if things change tomorrow, even if false accusations stopped, even if the double standards ended. How do you rebuild trust after this? How do you convince men it's safe when they've seen so many casualties? You don't. That's the answer. You don't. The younger generation of men is being raised to see this as normal. They don't know dating without fear. They don't know approaching without risk. They don't know relationships without walking on eggshells. This isn't a phase. It's the new normal they're adapting to. The corporate world has made it worse. Approach a coworker, career suicide, dating apps, data harvesting and depression, social events, minefield of potential accusations. Where exactly are men supposed to meet women safely? Nowhere. That's the point. There is nowhere. The biological imperatives that drove men to pursue despite risk are being overridden by survival instinct. Yes, men want connection, intimacy, partnership, but not at the cost of their freedom, reputation, or safety. The drive to protect oneself is stronger than the drive to reproduce. The men going abroad aren't just seeking traditional women. They're seeking safety. They're seeking environments where showing interest isn't dangerous, where compliments aren't crimes, where dating doesn't require a legal team on standby. They're not running to something as much as running from something. The dating coach is telling men to just approach are either ignorant or malicious. They're sending men into danger for profit. Teaching game in an environment where the game can destroy you is irresponsible. It's like teaching swimming in a pool full of sharks. The social infrastructure that supported male-female interaction is gone. Churches, community organizations, social clubs, all destroyed or made hostile to male participation. The organic ways people met are gone, replaced by digital spaces where every word is recorded and can be weaponized. Some women weaponize children in this environment. They know men who want families have to engage, so they use that desire as bait. Date them and risk everything. Don't date them and miss out on fatherhood. It's a cruel catch-22 that many men are resolving by choosing childlessness. The legal system offers no protection for men. False accusation. You're guilty until proven innocent, and sometimes still guilty after. Divorce, you lose half or more. Kids, she gets them. You get bills. The system is rigged. Everyone knows it, and men are refusing to play. The Believable Women movement, while addressing real issues, created a different problem. It removed the presumption of innocence for men. It made accusation equivalent to conviction. It weaponized victimhood. And men responded the only logical way: complete withdrawal. The male spaces being invaded everywhere isn't helping. Gaming, sports, gyms, hobbies. Every male refuge is being colonized and made hostile to men. Where do men go to just be men? To relax? To exist without performance or judgment? Nowhere. And that's contributing to the withdrawal. The safety strategies men are adopting are extreme but necessary. Never be alone with a woman at work. Record every interaction. Save every text. Document everything. Live like you're constantly gathering evidence for your defense because you might need it. Some men are using the Mike Pence rule. Never alone with a woman who isn't your wife. They were mocked for it, called ridiculous, paranoid. But those men still have their careers, their reputations, their freedom. Who's laughing now? The loneliness epidemic narrative misses male reality. Men aren't lonely because they can't get women. They're choosing solitude because it's safer than engagement. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Many men are alone by choice, not circumstance. The touch starvation argument is real but misleading. Yes, men need physical touch, but the cost of getting it in modern dating might be everything you've built. Is a hug worth a false accusation? Is sex worth potential imprisonment? Men are making that calculation and choosing abstinence. The pornography and AI girlfriend explosion makes sense in this context. Risk-free sexual outlet. No false accusations from pixels. No divorce from a chatbot. Is it ideal? No. Is it safer than modern dating? Absolutely. Men are choosing simulated connection over dangerous reality. Some women complain about men choosing video games over them. But video games don't accuse you of abuse when you win. They don't take half your achievements when you stop playing. They don't destroy your reputation if you play a different game. The appeal is obvious. The Passport Bros movement isn't just about finding traditional women. It's about finding safe women. Women who don't see men as enemies, who don't view relationships as warfare, who don't have incentive structures that reward destroying men. It's safety tourism. The university environment has become particularly hostile. Young men are entering campuses where they're pre-labeled as potential predators, where consent can be retroactively withdrawn, where Title IX can destroy them without due process. Many are choosing online education or trades instead. The trades are booming with young men who would have gone to college. Why? Because welding doesn't require navigating gender politics. Plumbing doesn't involve consent workshops. Electrical work doesn't come with false accusation risk. These men are choosing careers where competence matters more than compliance. The military recruitment crisis connects to this. Why would men fight for a society that sees them as toxic, defend a culture that demonizes them, risk their lives for people who celebrate their struggles? The traditional male sacrifice makes no sense when you're the enemy at home. Some good women are trying to signal safety, but how can men tell? The dangerous ones don't wear warning signs. The false accusers don't announce themselves. The manipulators look like everyone else. The not all women argument is true, but irrelevant. Not all snakes are venomous, but you still avoid all snakes if you can't tell the difference. Not all women are dangerous, but enough are that men can't. Risk finding out which is which. The cultural shift needed isn't coming. It would require admitting that men face real dangers in dating, that false accusations happen and destroy lives, that the system is biased, that men's fears are valid. Nobody wants to admit this, so nothing changes. Men are adapting to reality while some women remain in denial. They're creating lives that don't require female validation or presence. They're finding meaning, purpose, and happiness in solitude. They're proving that men don't need what society said they needed. The birth rate collapse makes sense through this lens. Why would men risk creating children in this environment where they have no rights but all responsibility, where the mother can weaponize the kids, where family court will destroy them? Voluntary extinction feels safer than procreation. The good men aren't hiding. They're protecting themselves. They're at the gym, the library, the workshop, the hiking trail. They're building, creating, learning, growing. They're just doing it alone because alone is safe. Some women reading this will dismiss it as bitter ranting from hurt men. That's fine. That dismissal is exactly why men are walking away. The inability to acknowledge male concerns, validate male fears, 69, or address male safety is why the withdrawal continues. The solution isn't complicated, but it won't happen. Hold false accusers accountable. Create real consequences for weaponizing the system. Restore due process. Make divorce equitable. Give fathers real rights. But this requires admitting the current system is broken, and nobody wants to do that. Meanwhile, men will continue doing what they're doing, withdrawing, protecting themselves, finding happiness in solitude, not because they hate women, but because they love their freedom, their safety, their peace, more than they fear being alone. The future isn't a return to traditional dating. It's not resolution of gender conflicts. It's parallel societies, men and women living separately, occasionally intersecting, but mostly avoiding each other. Not because it's ideal, but because it's safe. Every man has to make his own calculation. Is the potential reward worth the probable risk? For increasing numbers, the answer is no. And that's not weakness, cowardice, or failure. It's rational risk assessment in an irrational environment. The men avoiding modern dating aren't broken. They're not defective, scared little boys who can't handle strong women. They're rational actors responding logically to dangerous conditions. They're choosing safety over society's expectations. To the genuinely good women wondering why they can't find anyone. It's not you, it's the environment. Men can't tell you apart from the dangerous ones until it's too late. Your frustration is valid, but so is male self-preservation. To the men reading this, your safety matters. Your peace matters. Your freedom matters. If avoiding modern dating keeps you safe, avoid it. If staying single protects your assets, stay single. If choosing solitude preserves your sanity, choose solitude. The shame, the mockery, the who hurt you comments, let them roll off. The people shaming you for protecting yourself don't care about your well-being. They care about your utility, your participation, your resources, not you. Men aren't avoiding modern dating because they can't handle it. They're avoiding it because they've done the cost-benefit analysis and found it wanting. They're not failing at the game. They're refusing to play a rigged game. This isn't a call for hate or resentment. It's a call for awareness and self-preservation. Protect yourself. Focus on your growth. Build your life. Find your peace. If someone safe comes along, great. If not, you've lost nothing and preserved everything. The loneliest thing isn't being alone. It's being with someone who makes you feel alone. The most dangerous thing isn't solitude. It's company that could destroy you. Men are choosing the lesser risk, and that's not just understandable. It's smart. Modern men aren't avoiding women because they're weak. They're avoiding modern dating because they're wise. They've seen the casualties, calculated the risks, and made the rational choice. Their safety, not society's approval, is their priority. The women who get it, who understand why men are withdrawing, who see the dangers men face, you're appreciated, but you're also rare. Most don't see it, don't care, or actively contribute to it, and men can't risk finding out which category someone falls into. I want to hear from you guys. What made you decide to stop approaching? What was your final straw? What's your life like now that you've withdrawn from dating? Share your stories in the comments. Let other men know they're not alone in choosing safety over society's expectations. Your experiences matter, and your choice to protect yourself is valid.